Welcome to day 11 in Counting the Omer. Today we are in this bridge between the Netzach and Gevurah. One way to look at this is finding the endurance within discernment. This can be quite challenging, and I've been reflecting about this energy and also dreaming about it. I had a beautiful situation being mirrored to me about this energy. The Netzach Sephiroth, when God shines its light on this diamond, the colors and the light reflecting from that is strength. To stay in a situation over time, having this discipline to move towards a goal. So we have this mission in our lives, we have gifts, and God has this will with us being here. And we are given this quality and the ability to stay on that road towards our goal, even though there are obstacles. When we reach a goal, there is this feeling of a release, a victory. So also another aspect of Netzach is victory. When we compare this with the Gevurah, it can be quite, masculine. It's direction, it's right and wrong thinking together with masculine drive and energy moving forward. So it can very easily tip into the shadow side, especially if our direction and our will is coming from a shadow. It's coming from a more childish or egoistic need, and we start to move towards that goal, which is not really coming from the higher self and God's will within. That's when this energy can create quite a lot of trouble for us, and pain and suffering and pressure inside. I saw this in my daughter. She has created this judgment, because Gevurah is also about judgment. So we make judgments all the time, because we have this power inside to make like a decision about what's right for us and what's wrong for us, what serves the highest good and what's not serving the highest good. But when we are in that kind of lower state of mind, like a childish, or most grown-ups as well, including myself, when I had this desire, or she has this desire to have something, she wants something, this pressure builds up inside. But it began with she making a judgment about her backpack, that one which she's wearing when she goes off to school, and she has her books and things in it. And she finds this backpack very childish now. All of a sudden it's not right, because everyone else is having another type of backpack, which is more, teenager backpack. And now the birds are here knocking on my roof, so I'm sorry about the background noise. I can't manipulate the birds. Well, anyway, she has this idea. She made up her own judgment about her backpack, and her mind is saying to her that your backpack is wrong because it's not as the other one. So when she makes up this thinking, this thought within her mind, she's making a judgment towards her own backpack, and then she directs that towards herself. Other people are going to judge me. They are going to look at me as like I am a child, I'm childish, and I don't fit in. We are so afraid not to fit in and be similar to other people. We have this fear inside that if we don't fit into a community, if we are being like pushed out of a community because we look different or act different, there is this survival instinct coming up in us. So that's what's alive in her. So it's actually the fear driving her here about her backpack. And Gevurah is also all about fear. And of course, this is understandable. It's important for a teenager to, be a part of the community, feel like she fits in there, she looks like them, she acts like them. But it's her mind that created this judgment. And then the desire to have a new backpack comes up because she wants to fix it, right? She wants to change the situation because she feels discomfort. And then she creates this desire that she has to have this backpack. And every time she's now putting on the backpack, which is childish, she feels judged and she feels bad and she feels ashamed. And all of this is created within her mind. 2 months ago, she didn't care less about this backpack. And Netzach, since the Netzach is about this drive we have to go towards a goal, when this is coming from like a fear-based desire, we can very easily start to manipulate. She's trying to manipulate us, her parents, because she just wants a new backpack now, as quick as possible. So she's trying even to put us up against each other. And this is how we act when we really want something. And we're not able to just release it and let it go and allow God to work through us. If it's important, it will come. We will start to manipulate, try to fix it, try to handle it, because we have created this discomfort for ourselves and we want to get out of that discomfort. So sometimes our mind can be very messed up in a way. Another example of this is my youngest daughter. She told me a couple of days ago when she was going to bed and she was looking at her legs and her thighs, and she said to me, "Mom, my thighs are so big." It's a 9-year-old we're talking about here, and she's not big. She's super active and but anyways, she could of course compare herself with the other people, with the other girls in her class, and she could see that her legs were actually a little bit bigger than the others because her bones are different, her body is different. And when she started to judge herself, she started to feel shameful about her legs, so she tried to hide her thighs under her t-shirt, and she tried to sit in another position when they were having gym, and her shorts made her thighs visible. She tried to sit in a position that made them look thinner. And I promise you guys, this doesn't come from me, because I've been super conscious about not talking about my body in any negative way. So this is coming, of course, her mind is starting to compare herself with the others. And then she's making this assumption about what is right and what is wrong, and she doesn't look like them. So she's not right in a way. Something is kind of wrong with her body because it's not thin enough. It's different than theirs. It broke my heart to hear her shame and how she was, thinking about her own thighs like that. And I told her, my love, the mind is so complicated. It's like we are having two minds. We have that mind which is just making up all these kinds of stuff, thoughts, ideas, judgments. And right now your mind is comparing itself. And it judges your thighs for not being beautiful. And then I told her about the other mind. We have kind of two minds. And the other mind, that's your soul's mind. Remember, you are a soul coming to this earth, and you chose this body. Your soul wanted this exact body to spend this life here on earth. So why would the soul ever judge it? It doesn't make sense, does it? She's like, no, it doesn't. So the soul loves this body. So next time you find yourself and you realize that you're looking at your thighs, and that part of the mind, which is kind of the mind that just functions by its own and making up all kinds of thoughts, even though they are not true, you can go into the soul mind, and you can say to that other mind that, hey, I can see you make up a lot of things right now. I am the soul and I love my body. I'm sorry that you don't, but I do. And just look and see what happens then if you start to think like your soul would be thinking and like God would be thinking. Why would God ever judge anything or anyone? And she's like, wow, okay, I will try that. So let's see how it, will turn out later, if she is able to let go of this human mind about this thing. So my youngest daughter, she's very easy to guide like this. My eldest, she's more, she's more resistant to my guidance and teaching. But my point here is that we are doing this exact same thing as grown-ups all the time. I'm making all these ideas about what's right and what's wrong towards myself and towards others. I can judge a person quite hard sometimes. But then I remember that, wow, this is the human mind. How would God think about this person? Well, God is within everyone and God loves this person. And God loves me through that person. We have this drive within us that wants to fix things or move towards something. It's a beautiful drive when it's in alignment with God's will and the highest good. But it can be quite devastating and harmful if it's in alignment with this lower mind, this human mind. Imagine my daughter if she would start now to try to fix her thighs by stop eating or dressing differently in a way that would hide her thighs. That would be really the shadow Netzach within Gevurah. And the consequences, oh my God, they are not nice, Eating disorders and hiding the body, controlling everything. When there's another option, and that is to look at the body with love and allow it to develop into that beauty. It's already so beautiful. Allow the soul to just evolve and develop the body into its full potential, the way it was always supposed to look like. By loving it, we will naturally start to feed it also, in the right way. Like I've been talking about, you have this garden. If you really love it and you want to take care of it, you make sure you give your garden the right nutritions and you put them, in the shadow. If there's a plant that doesn't like to have too much sun, you make sure you put it in the right spot, the right place. And if there are plants that needs a lot of sun, you make sure you plant it there where there is much sun. And this is the Gevurah. We guide our light and love in the right direction, and together with the Netzach, which is all about our mission and why we are here and our gifts and how they can be shared with the world, and our drive to make that happen. If we are in alignment with the highest good and God's will, this will be experienced like love being shared exactly where it's meant to be shared. And you will have this experience of love flowing through you. And this river of love coming through us at all times when it's directed just where it was meant to be. The source will be endless. It can never be empty. And it wants to be shared. Every time we receive something, we have this urge to share it with others. That's a beautiful urge. So when we listen to that and we share it and then release the expectations of what wants to come through or back to us from that, but we just share it freely out into the world where we feel in alignment with where we are meant to go. We also let go of the expectations about kind of the payment from that. And in the Genesis, the 4 rivers flowing from the Garden of Eden tells us that if we are able to make this river go in the right direction, you will receive the abundance of it in one way or another. And I have experienced this many times. When I'm on the right road, when I'm walking in the right direction, things feel quite simple and I can just flow with it, and I don't have to work hard to make it happen. I can just lean back. But the thing is, sometimes when we have this desire, this goal, we move too quickly. We don't find that strength, this Gevurah, to wait until, heaven had made it ready to happen on earth. Yesterday I also had another mirror to this dynamic in a way. I was talking with a beautiful soul who was so struggling in her relationship with her mom. And she had this idea that she needed to make a decision, whether to pull back from her and, almost like completely stop having a relationship with her because she felt she needed to protect herself, or not, this yes and no answer, the Gevurah, making the right decision. And then I gave her another option. What if you don't have to make that decision? What if you just lean back, rest, accept what it is right now? And then we went into her mom and we kind of looked at her and how we could also create this acceptance of where her mom is coming from. Because she also has her history. And we don't need to fix that. We can accept our parents or whoever is around us that triggers us as they are. And then lean back and go inside and bring love to all those emotions which becomes alive in that meeting. And when she realized this, that she didn't need to change the situation or fix the situation or make a choice, the release coming from that, and the love coming into her, flowing into her, witnessing that was so beautiful. I felt it too. I was filled too with this Gevurah energy. The strength to just accept a situation as it is without trying to fix it. Same thing, if you have this desire, just look at the desire. Is this coming from a human mind or God's mind? And if it's coming from God's mind, because sometimes, at least I do, I receive messages, which is this is God's will, but things aren't kind of not coming together as I expect with my mind. When I release that push from within, this need to make things happen right away, when I can just lean back and trust that God will make this happen if it's meant for me, it will come in divine timing. There's no need to force anything. And here is where I have a little kind of problem with all this talk about the spirituality, you know, when it comes to manifestation, there's so many videos, there's so much talk about you are the creator and you can create whatever reality you want, and you can, you know, you can, if you want more money, you can have more money, you just have to, you know, set your goal and move towards it, and so on and so on. What if your soul has another lesson to learn, or another idea which will serve you so much more than having a lot of money? I'm not saying having a lot of money is a wrong thing here. I'm just saying that maybe creating such a desire and making your, you know, your goal to have more, I'm not sure that's coming from the soul or the human mind, to be honest. It's two very different ways to manifest something. When we align ourselves with how can I serve, how can I give love to this world and to people, trust that God will definitely give you abundance in one way or another. It's like, what can I have? Shifting from what can I have, what's in it for me, to what can I give, what's in it for all. That's when you start to connect with God's will. And you can just relax and allow the light and the love to work through you. And know when to move and when to make like an action towards a goal. Because we can have this guidance, you know, coming from within. Hey, I want you to sing, or I want you to write this book about this or that topic. When I received my mission about healing the masculine and the feminine energies, I very quickly, you know, okay, how can I do that then? How can I align my action with this mission? But then it's not coming from how can I make money from my soul's mission. It's coming from, okay, how can I help God create balance between the masculine and the feminine? How can I do this then? Then you have to show me the way. And God showed me the way. He told me exactly what to do. And this Kabbalah, this counting of the Omer, also came from God. It came through Mother Mary showing up in a dream, showing me this way to actually do my mission. But it had to come after a couple of years with purification. And it had to happen in the right timing, when I had achieved enough knowledge and wisdom. And then I knew I was ready. And when I had done this for myself sometimes, and, you know, going through the counting of the Omer a couple of times, and also guiding other people, the message was so clear within my mind. Okay, next time you go on YouTube and you share this with the world. And if I didn't do that, if I would have ignored that voice was so strong, if I would have ignored that, it would be because I was afraid. And then I have more healing to do, more purification, more going inside and looking, where is this fear coming from? Why am I afraid to share God's will through me? What am I afraid of? Is it judgments from others? Is it judgments towards myself that I'm not good enough? that I don't know enough, that other people will judge me because they think or make an assumption that I don't have enough wisdom to share this sacred work or this sacred Kabbalah. Believe me, I had to go through a couple of rounds there, because I'm no rabbi, or I didn't even grow up in the Jewish tradition. But I have to trust in God and God's will that comes through me. I can't control my dreams, so when things comes up in my dreams and when I'm in deep state of meditation and I receive these clear messages, I have to listen. So it's really more about listening, receiving, than, having this push and feeling that we need to manifest our lives all the time, feeling that we need to do something all the time. Leaning back and listening. And when you receive, you act. So how do I listen, you may ask now? Well, start to write in the morning or whenever it fits for you. I get up normally at 5 in the morning every day. And I write for 2 hours. I sit down and I do my work every day. That's kind of my discipline. That's also Netzach. I disciplinate myself, but not in a shadow masculine, but from a very pure and divine masculine drive within me, because I know this is my path. I know this is for my higher good and everyone else's highest good. And sometimes I go into the shadow side of this. Like, for example, I can have this idea that, I need to get stronger within my muscles and I need to do asana practice every morning and it has to be so and so many sun salutations and blah, blah, blah. I immediately see that, oh God, this is coming from control, because I want my body to look stronger and more beautiful. And then I release it. But sometimes it comes this like inner whisper, hey, you have some blockages here and there now in your body. Listen now, so the pranayama can come through you. And then sometimes pranayama comes through me, and there are pranayama practices that I've never learned from anyone or, been experiencing before. Suddenly something totally new happens in my body because I listen. Yeah. Okay. Looking at the time now, it was 33. So I think that's the message for all of us, to really listen to the feminine and the masculine within. The divine, pure, holy Trinity. Make a triangle at your chest and know that God is working through you. The Netzach, it's on the right hip, and the Gevurah is on the left shoulder. So this is kind of going diagonal through our body. And we are working today with the feminine and the masculine side. The feminine, the Gevurah, holds back. She waits. She's so strong. She goes pregnant for 9 months and just, creating this idea And she knows exactly when to move in the right direction with the right hip, with the Netzach. But she knows how to wait, hold back, and just be. How much peace there would be in this world if we all realized that we can just be and observe and allow and accept. May you find this peace within you today. And dear God, show us the way. Please show us your will through us. Teach us how to listen. Amen.